of a pillowcase. So cute. About a week and a half ago, I taught myself how to sew. And since then, I have made a few things, but my favorite so far is this bag. This little tote bag that I made with a pillowcase. Thrifted these from Goodwill for like $2.99 or something like that. And I am going to show you guys how to make it. I don't know all the fancy names and the specific measurements. I didn't follow a pattern. I just watched videos and did what felt right. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it. And if you want to do one with me, go find yourself a pillow, Sham. So I don't have a bunch of the fancy tools yet. I literally have my little basket with scissors, it's like rotary cutter, whatever it's called, squares that I just got yesterday, clips, pins, and then my mat. You don't need anything crazy. First, this pillow, Sham, has, it's like open where you would insert the pillow. So I am going to iron this down, maybe. Yeah, I'm just gonna run it, because whatever. I'm gonna cut this out, and then I'm gonna stitch along this seam to just close this up. I'm gonna stay inside of this border, so I'm gonna start here and keep this not stitched because I'm gonna cut those off for the straps. So I've got this pinned, just 3 little pins to kind of keep it in place as I go. I'm gonna go J1, and we're gonna put it the number 4 at the top and 1 at the bottom for no other reason than that's what ChatGPT told me to do. So I'm gonna fold that over. I'm gonna slide this up in here. Now that is just stitched across, so that is closed up. I started cutting this so I can show you guys. There's this seam along here for the border, and I'm gonna cut just on the inside of it. So, but I'm just cutting right along the inside of the seam. That way, this stays closed, like the pillowcase itself, and I'm just taking the border, the long border, off of each side. Not the short side, just the long side. Okay, got the long border cut off of either side. The border that you just cut, because you cut on the inside of the seam, it'll open up. So I am going to take this and I'm gonna flip it around inside out. That is inside out now. And I'm gonna iron it down. Then I can sew these together, just a straight stitch. And I'm gonna leave a gap at the end, so then I can pull it through so it's right side out, if that makes any sense. If not, just watch. Again, this is the right way. I am flipping it because we cut along that seam and opened it up. So if yours isn't all the way opened up, just rip the seam where it's still closed and it'll be fine. I'm gonna flatten it out. I'm gonna take my handy dandy $12 iron. These are now laid flat inside out. We're gonna sew these up. Using the same setting that we did before, we're just gonna go along the edge here. All right, my dumbass forgot to leave a space, so we are just going to give ourselves a little bit of room to flip this thing because I obviously wasn't thinking, which is pretty fucking typical. Okay, now we've got a gap. We're gonna push this thing through a curtain rod because that's what my fiance found for me last night. Do the other ones. Rod is here. I'm gonna take this from the bottom and just kind of work it up a little bit. This is a pain in the ass. It's not supposed to be easy unless you've got a trick to make it easier, then tell me. I'm gonna put it on here and work it all the way down until you get to the other side where you can pull it through. Got it through, I'm gonna take it off and then just pull it out. Need to close this up in a minute, but I'm gonna iron this out first. Both of my straps are complete. 1 and 2 ironed out. Now, this I am going to sew up the spots that I cut because I accidentally did rip the seams. I'm gonna close those up real quick. Both sides are now sewn up and closed. So I want the floral to be the outside of my bag. So I'm gonna flip this inside out. I'm gonna lay this out flat. We are gonna cut squares. I am just gonna cut 2.5 inch squares. So now we've got our bag inside out. It can open up and it's got a square cut out on the bottom. Now I'm gonna leave it folded inside out and I'm gonna sew just along here. We have both sides stitched up. Our bag is inside out. We've got these corners that were stitched to the end. This one's connected, but this is just raw, completely left alone. We're gonna grab our bag, okay? Corner, corner, pull these corners, pinch that together, and we're gonna stitch right along here. Again, you can clip it if you want. It's gonna be like this. This is the top opening of our bag, and that is how that corner is gonna get stitched. And then we are just gonna clean up these little edges. We are almost done with this. My corners, to make it boxy, are sewn up. I'm just gonna grab my straps. I want them to lay with the same pattern, so once it's flipped right side out, it'll show the same pattern. I'm just gonna mark up where I want these. Nothing too specific. You can eyeball it if you choose. That's the life that I choose. And we'll just pin it. My handles on one side are on, and now I am just going to stitch these right across the top. It's pretty thick with all those layers, and so I would go slow. All right, we got those stitched on, and now we turn the bag right side out, and it's complete. And that took me like maybe an hour and a half total.